Hi, this is Roger in Finland, and today we're going to take a look on how to use marks in the Zoom H1n. So for the impatient ones, there's two different types of marks named marks within the Zoom H1n. One thing is the sound mark and the other one is the mark. Sound mark is something that you can activate so that every time that you record the clip, there's a beep at the beginning of the clip and a beep at the end of the clip. The idea is that this is something that you could use to sync audio afterwards. So if you're using this, for example, as an external recorder for your camera, and you record the audio here, and then you have a cable from the H1n into the camera, then the audio will have that really strong beep, and it's very easy to synchronize in your NLE, either visually or using the automatic detection of waveforms. I have to say that DaVinci Resolve audio syncing through waveform without the beeps works fantastic. So this is something that I never use, but it's good to know. The other way of adding marks is basically while recording, one of the four buttons, the most on the left, that says audio in the small font, it's to set marks. And while you're recording, you can click that button and then it sets a mark. And that's kind of a, let's call it software mark within the audio file that you can use for either navigating easily when playing back within the Zoom H1n, or those marks will be visible in your DAW. That's a digital audio workstation. And these are the marks that you have in the Zoom H1n. And then one quick question. Do you like more this setup with almost no colors at all? Or do you prefer the usual one that I usually have that blue and orange lights behind me? I'm just curious because I like to test things out. And now let's go for some more details, and let's start with the sound marks. So to turn them on, you need to click on the option button, and while you hold it, the button that it says audio level in the small text, you can see that it has the sound mark within the screen. If I click that button, then I can turn that sound mark on and off. If it's off, obviously it does nothing, but when it's on, it will record a beep at the beginning and at the end of every clip. And that beep can be used for synchronizing purposes. So now I started recording. Now I stop recording, and you can probably hear the beep. There we go. And that's intended for synchronization purposes. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to turn this off right now because I never use this when I record externally, and right now I'm using my usual setup of the T-Bone EM800 into the Zoom H5. I just put the audio file next to the video file and ask DaVinci Resolve to please synchronize them, and it always does a really good job. So a functionality that I don't use, but for you to know. Then there's the other kind of marks, and those are the ones that you can set while recording. And while you are recording, you can see that all the different four buttons have different functions. The low cut, limiter, and auto level, that's what they will do. You can turn that on and off. But the button that is labeled as audio, you can see that in the screen it says mark. And if I click that button, it will set a mark. And in the screen it will tell you it's mark number 1, mark number 2, or as many marks you're setting within that file while you are recording. The use for that is to have, let's call them software marks, as I said before. So they are marks within the file that either the H1n or software will detect them, and they can be used for different things. While playing back in the H1n, you can move within the marks. So let's say that you're recording a longer interview and you have either some pauses, or you're recording several takes at once for some short film, and then you know that that's the good one, and you can set that one mark. And that can be useful for, again, the playback or when you're editing afterwards. If you put this file into your DAW, digital audio workstation, most likely those marks will show. My DAW of choice, and it has been for a number of years, is Reaper. And if I put one of the files from the H1n into Reaper, I'm setting a mark, so I'm going to show it to you. And I'm going to set a second mark so I can show it even better to you. These marks are visible within that piece of software. And that's useful if you're recording a long thing and you want to set some marks and you want to navigate to because there was a really good take, or that it marks a pause within an interview or something like that, then you would know how to navigate with the marks that you have been setting. Unfortunately, I have not found a way of having those marks visible in DaVinci Resolve, which is what I use for editing the videos, and that's the use that I would have for the Zoom H1n as well. So I would use Reaper only when I do some music things, which has been a long time since I've done anyway, so I don't mix those two. It would be nice that this would work in DaVinci Resolve. And lastly, so way to do this video if I have no use for the sound marks or for the marks within the file. Well, there's been quite a few questions related to marks in the other videos that I've released about the Zoom H1n, and I don't think I was able to reply properly to those questions, so I decided to make this video. And this video is still not addressing some of the questions which I still don't exactly understand either the question or how did that happen. Some of the questions were saying, I'm getting automatic marks within my files and that's ruining my workflow or causing me problems. If those problematic marks were the sound marks, now we went through on how to enable and disable them, so that should be not a problem anymore. And if the marks would be these soft marks that you can set, then I still can't see a problem because they are not audible at all within the file. So hopefully either way, we've learned something about how to use marks and sound marks in the Zoom H1n. And if somebody was having some issues, maybe now they are solved or a little bit clearer. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we're gonna see you soon for some more content.